What would change for you if the next time you find yourself in an emotionally overwhelming situation, some triggering thing happens that reminds you of difficult things you've experienced in the past? What if you could just get so grounded in the focus moment that the past has no hold on you? It lays no claim upon you. What if you could activate more of your God-given common sense in every challenging set of circumstances? Well, this video is going to help you do just that. Now, I don't know about you, but I find that circumstances in the present, they're challenging enough without introducing all of the pain and all of the difficulty of the past, without layering in all of the worries about the future. Here and now, it's got enough going on. Again, reality is difficult sometimes, even in and of itself, without piling on more and more difficulty. So, when you find yourself in the midst of challenging circumstances, there is a very simple technique you can apply to immediately reduce the overwhelm of the situation and help you, again, get grounded and get focused on the reality of your present situation. To make some sense of this, if you've got a piece of paper handy, go ahead and draw a Venn diagram. Two overlapping circles here. If you don't have paper handy, well, you can just imagine for the time being. What we're looking to do is get a sense of what is different about here and now compared with there and then. So one of these circles that you draw, you can label it here and now. The other, you can label it there and then. And of course, there are some ways that here and now is like there and then. That's why we have the overlap on the Venn diagram. Yeah. However, the important thing is that here and now, however similar it may be, it is not the same as there and then. So, because work can only occur in the reality of the present, we're going to focus on here and now. And again, the question is, how is this right here and right now different from that there and then? And you can start with obvious differences. I mean, if you look around the room, you might think, well, okay, here and now I am in San Isidro in Buenos Aires. I'm in Argentina. That's different. All right. I am wearing a gray linen shirt. Oh, okay. Oh, I'm an adult. That's different. What else? You look for obvious differences. What is different in your here and now circumstances than there and then? The reason why this distinction is so important is that it vectors your attention and your energy away from the past about which you can do nothing, and it vectors it into the reality of here and now. As I mentioned, here and now is the only context where we can actually do any work. So it's important to have our attention and our energy vectored into the present if we want to be more capable. Now, when you are making these distinctions, separating here and now in all of its little details from there and then, you're also putting up a bulwark. Is that the right word? I've never said that word out loud before. I've only ever read it. You're putting up a boundary, let's say, in space and time, so that the past cannot flood in. I'll say that when I'm working with clients, one of the things that always is the case when they're overwhelmed, they've crossed the boundaries of space and time. They have left here and now, and they are occupying themselves with something in the future, worries, concerns about what can happen, or they're rehashing and ruminating all of these old things that happened. Now, it's not to say that we never make use of the future or the past. The information we may need to solve our problems in the present, it may be found in the past, or it may be found in the future. But those moves into the past and future are of a very different quality. They're much less overwhelming than when past just floods into the present, or the worries of the future flood in. That's a very maladaptive relationship with this temporal boundary. So, again, the question, how is here and now different from there and then? We are going to re-establish the temporal boundary, get the past back in the past, so that you can ground and center and focus yourself in the present. Now, let's have a moment to check in. Even having asked that question and having identified some differences between here and now and there and then, has this in and of itself changed anything in your experience? My assumption, my hunch here is that it has. That identifying these differences actually has done some important psychological work. Now, what makes this so important is that the development of all human systems, and we are a system, right? We have subsystems within us, the different parts of ourselves, and we are in the context of other systems, yeah? Systems develop by one process and only one process. They develop through the discrimination and integration of differences. The discrimination and the integration of differences. This is what the systems theorist Ivan Agazarian identified as the one dynamic process that drives development and transformation of human systems. Whether this is you within yourself, whether this is a relationship between you and someone else, whether this is a group that you are a part of, there's one dynamic process, the discrimination and integration of differences, which means we have to be able to identify both similarities in the apparently different and differences in the apparently similar. So some things look the same. Let's say here and now, it looks exactly like there and then. So we need to identify differences in the apparently similar. Ah, well, here and now I'm wearing this very comfortable gray linen shirt. Okay, here and now I'm in Buenos Aires. Here and now, again, differences in what appears similar. Then we can identify similarities in the apparently different, but that's a conversation for another day. For the time being, your development, if you find yourself overwhelmed, helpless, beset, triggered, all of these things, the most important thing is to recognize, to discriminate differences, to say, here and now is different from there and then. That process of discrimination allows you then to work on the problems in the present, which again, the only place, the only time we can do any work, it's here and now. So I hope to God this has been of service to you as you fulfill the purposes of your life. Uh, Lord knows it's much easier to do that when we're not just flooded with all of this stuff across the boundaries of space and time. We say, no, 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 no. I'm going to focus myself here. I'm going to take care of the task at hand, however much it may remind me of something that happened then, however much I may worry about it becoming something that happens then. Right here, right now, this is what I am to focus on. Anyway, be well. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments down below, and I will look forward to speaking with you in the next video.